please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Anand Tandon is also with us. Anand, good afternoon. I wanted your thoughts first on PNB. As we speak, it's down about 8.5%. I know the other PSU banks have had a big rally from the lows. PNB also has had a rally, but not as big. Your thoughts on, at 8% lower and very close to its recent lows. Is it, a trade worth taking or investment worth taking?
Well, from the point of view of something which is beaten down dramatically and therefore may have a chance to bounce, you could look at it. But if you're really looking to play the corporate turnaround, I would argue that the best place to be is in the leading banks. Why do you have to necessarily do bottom fishing? I think State Bank and the PSUs and Axis and ICICI offer reasonable value as it is. They are not particularly expensive, and the books are a lot clearer, and there is a greater understanding of what can happen from here without having to worry about government action and so on. So I think they are probably better bets to be in.
Okay. Anand, what thoughts on a stock like TVS Motors? Came out with numbers as a bit of a relief rally because at least there's no further margin compression. If anything, margin has improved quarter on quarter. Would you be a buyer?
So again, here is something where, the market leaders and the number two are engaged in a bit of a fight now in terms of market share after a long time. Bajaj has decided that they do care about the domestic market share and will be aggressively pursuing that. Whenever such a kind of assertion comes from a company which has reasonable depth in the balance sheet, you have to be sure that there will be some erosion in terms of prices and margin, in which case you don't necessarily want to go with the weakest player in the sector. We have seen that happen in the telecom. I'm not suggesting that we'll have a similar war in the two-wheelers, but even if there is a mild war, the better place to be is in the market leaders rather than in the laggards. So I think if you have to be in the two-wheeler space, my bet would be with Bajaj. Though it doesn't look like there is great news waiting to happen, but I think the fact that they have improving international market gives them enough leeway to fight with Hero in the domestic market.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's actually play out a conversation that we had with Kenneth Andrade, founder and CEO of Old Bridge Capital Management. We spoke to him about earnings and the kind of themes, sectors that he likes in the market at the moment.
Valuations came to an interesting level, and I think the follow-up on valuations were basically the quarterly numbers, which are also much better than most of the expectations that were there. So I think the culmination of these two, I think the worst is already done in this space. I think we're looking at pockets of opportunity which are cheap and which have reasonable amount of growth, and we'll try to pick businesses in that space. Number of companies that look attractive now are fewer than that they were in the last part of the cycle, which is about 2 years back, and that breadth is narrowing down to a couple of them that are there on the ground. There's intense amount of pricing pressure on the ground. I agree with that part of it all, and that helps the industry consolidate itself. Our sense is that we probably were a little early, or we probably were a little early into the cycle, and consolidation will play its way into the next year or two before spending comes back into the environment. The metal space in India is behaving reasonably different from what's happening across the world. There is reasonable amount of stress. So let's put it this way: overcapacity is not out of the cycle yet, and that's globally. In India, overcapacity is out of the cycle, and a large part of this industry has also been helped because of the tariffs that have been imposed on the entire system. My sense is that I'll watch. We're definitely mid-cycle or mid-cycle way through that commodity space. I wouldn't be in a tearing hurry to add too many companies out there.